Well, so much for beginning. Technical difficulties. Great, really? Shit. Whoops. So much for that. Hold on. Let me. Great. So, anyways, how's your day going?
Did my
Keep in
betting.
mind you are live.
Huh, am I being recorded?
Yeah, we're being recorded.
Alright, great. Did my betting. Washed them till forever. At least they're clean now.
Well,
It makes me think of Ice Cube's song, like "Today Was a Good Day." But it was like such simplistic measurements, or such, yeah, I don't know.
did he have measurements of doing sheets?
No, he just basically is like, "Oh, no one died today. Today was a good day."
Yay.
Yep,
He should start rapping about sheets, son.
I might have to. Today was a good day. Ooh, wop. Bum bum ba da da dum. Just gonna jumpstart my singing career.
Well, you are in the
Notes.
area for that.
True that.
Seriously? Like, this isn't going to work on me now? Oh, jeez. Really? Okay, so it's working. Let's go with
Great.
that as is. Sorry for the delay.
No worries.
And welcome, folks, to the 36th episode of Hurting Horn Sweatin Money. We may or may not have ownership or other positions in the stocks mentioned on the show. Don't buy stocks based solely off what you hear from this podcast. And always do your own homework and research before investing in stocks. I'm your host, Kong, along with my co-host. You can introduce yourself.
Gibson.
Yeah, normally I would try to do it, but at such a loud volume.
Huh.
Anyways, in the news, whoops. So yeah, the Federal Reserve meeting happened, and basically they're going to keep the rates the same, but there are rumors that there's going to be a slight rise in June, possibly. Once again, the caveat is whether or not unemployment is lowered and inflation will be raised.
Sounds sensible.
Yeah. In a flurry of earnings reports, Chipotle says it has its first quarterly loss, and that was yeah. Despite the food contamination scare, they opened up 58 new restaurants and will open up more by the end of the year. They said that they'll add chorizo to their menu to attract people back. It was already field tested in Kansas City, and it did pretty good.
Interesting. I don't know. Me and Chorizo have bad experiences.
Oh no.
Huh. Hope they work out those kinks.
Well, Exxon and Chevron reported quarterly losses as well, despite the fact that oil prices fell. These two companies also possess refineries, which usually do much better. Sorry, jumped over to the next article. Impact. Okay. Hello. Dang.
All
Okay.
right, here you.
Yeah. So, in such situations where the oil companies have refineries, usually when oil prices drop, it would do much better, but they didn't this go around. Now, you would think with such a situation that it means that Tesla would profit, but Tesla stocks actually fell on Friday. In fact, if you were a technical analyst, it fell beyond its 20-day Bollinger Band. So, any thoughts?
I don't know. I don't think I'm an adamant believer of technical analysis, although the Bollinger Band does say, if it's an abnormal drop or not abnormal drop. And I think in the lack of any type of news, um, the Bollinger Band might make sense just because you're like, hey, this is a beyond the norm deviation. And why is it concern with beyond the norm deviation? Well, maybe there's like some insider activity, maybe an institution selling something. In this case, I mean, it seems like there's just bad news. So,
Yeah, there is slightly some bad news. The quarterly earnings report won't actually be out until May 4th, but supposedly the Model X SUV is facing some quality issues, so that might be it.
damn, that's horrible.
Now, also running in direct competition with Tesla is Mercedes-Benz, owned by Daimler, uh, and they'll follow Tesla's footsteps, and they're going to build a energy storage battery unit. So maybe there's that too, more competition.
I don't know. It's a little bit tough. I mean, given the cheaper prices of all the oil, there's really not as much incentive for people to buy Tesla in the first place. The S class was attractive in a certain sense. It seemed like so new and like high tech.
Right.
But then I don't know. Now I don't know. I think some of the novelty effect might be wearing off on it, and then the low oil price is not good at all. But that all depends on, whether or not there's going to be some um, global incentive to curb carbon emissions. If there was a proposal for, or there's a movement that's centered around a carbon tax fee, and if that goes through, the price of gasoline will shoot up, or oil prices will shoot up, which would benefit Tesla a lot.
Yeah, well, if the Berkshire Hathaway meeting yesterday was any indication, the carbon tax fee is probably not going to go through. Also, considering the way our Congress is right now, I mean, they're pretty much inept.
Yeah, you know, I think without some reinforcement from, like, I think Buffett's he's personally for the carbon tax fee, but if he doesn't want to be the only person that is involved in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's like global social change, and he feels like there's more global forces need to be at play than just himself. But I'm pretty sure he's personally for it.
yeah. Moving along, so Apple recorded losses for the quarter, a first in 13 years. Oh, whoops, I
Wow.
just jumped. Anyways, so the decline came due to the lowered sales in China, and Apple said, despite this, their sales are actually getting better and better in China. Now, the slide that I just jumped through was despite the losses, or actually in spite of that, actually, Carl Icahn has said that he's not confident of the company's performance in the country, that is China, and he sold all his shares in the company.
Wow.
Yep.
So I guess Apple stock took a giant hit.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, they
did
took,
he sell it all one day, or he's been gradually selling it and
no, he sold it
just
all.
at one time?
Yeah,
Wow, that would have dropped the stock to really low levels. Not really low levels, but the stocks would definitely have taken a random hit.
yeah. Now, however, Apple wasn't the only one suffering through this week, but many tech companies released their quarterly earnings report, and they didn't look good at all. So,
That's not good.
no. Now, the only saving grace in tech was Facebook, which actually saw shares jump 7% on Thursday to a new high of $116.73, or $116.73, because the owner Mark Zuckerberg wants to continue giving away shares of the stock in the name of philanthropy while maintaining control of his own company. So he's actually going to be issuing new types of shares.
He's gonna have the best of all worlds.
I guess we'll
He's
see.
trying to. We'll see if well, actually though, I think there's a meeting where the shareholders are suing against that though.
Is there?
Yeah, basically, yeah, there is definitely a lawsuit against Facebook for it by on behalf of shareholders for exactly that.
Huh. Okay. Well, moving along. Back to doing business in China, there's always a risk, especially with your intellectual property getting stolen. In this case, Under Armour is meeting up with a brand named Uncle Martian, and if you look at the picture right here, can you actually see a difference between the two logos? Granted, it's a low quality picture.
Well, one's a U and one's like a H and one's a U and an N, which is kind of like an H, you know. I mean, the two corners don't quite touch. I'm pretty sure we've gotten into this discussion. I'm not sure if yeah. Why is Uncle well first off is why is Uncle Martian U and an N? Should be
I think the quality of this picture is actually pretty bad. So if you look at it carefully, although you really have to like squint your eyes when you see
really,
this.
really carefully, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. The supposed arch, the lower arch, it kind of dips in the middle ever so slightly that you can say it's kind of an M, but
You
it's
know,
really
I've
far
never
fetched.
paid so much attention to Under Armour's logo until just now. I guess they were trying to aspire to be like the samurai like helmet.
Right.
Like a
You
straight
know, I
up
never
rip
thought
off
about
of
that.
the yeah, I never thought about that either until just now. I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
Oh, hey.
Like a samurai helmet. So you're both plagiarizing Japanese samurai costumes or armor.
Oh, but I mean, if that's the case, the Uncle Martian brand is really doing a horrible, horrible job.
Oh no no no. See, Under Armour is imitating the samurai helmets, whereas Uncle Martian is clearly imitating Under Armour.
Right. Anyways, so there you have it. Careful of doing business in China or not doing business if you don't have your stuff registered correctly over there. Anyways, move along. Let's take a look at the week in review. As you can see, the indexes were trying to stay afloat throughout the week, and Thursday was when it started taking a dive. So,
And Friday is when I bought shorts.
good for you. Did you actually make any money?
My Caesar position is now in the positives, and then
Sweet.
but not by much. I only have like 200 shares. So,
Uh,
but then I'm up like $29 from before,
nice.
which is good, nice. And then see, I'm shorting Bank America, but also
Whoa,
not by much.
let's save this for the playbook now.
All right, let's save that for the playbook then.
All right, all right. So let's
Yeah.
look at the international markets. As we last checked, the Australian market was trying to climb back up from a massive drop, which bottomed out at locally at Australian time close to 11 a.m. And I mean, still trying to climb back up, but it's still in the red. New Zealand, I mean, it opened high, but then it just, I mean, went lower. So that's strange. Then there's Japan, which just opened lower and then just bleu, dropped even lower. Um, the Bank of Japan says that they would hold off on more quantitative easing. Well, they said that on Thursday, I should say. Analysts say that this is because the earlier declaration of the year for negative interest rates will still have to play out their role, and the BOJ still needs to observe before it will do anything further. keep in mind an aging population. Negative interest rates might not encourage spending like they're expecting.
I don't know. The negative interest rate should encourage spending, though.
Well, I
But
mean, maybe with a
according to
younger population, but I mean, like, I mean, they're I mean, the young people are few and far between. I mean, it's mainly a lot of old people right now, and they all grew up during World War II when Japan wasn't doing all that great. And I mean, of course, they were attackers in World War II, part of the Axis powers, and then like, they went through some tough times, like everyone else did during those days. But uh, that generation is not all about spending money per se.
well, it's not about spending money, but now saving money is, well, see, banks have a use, like it's not just what's the benefit of a bank, right? Why do people put the money in the bank? Well, some people, oh, it gives you interest and whatnot. Really, not quite, because what's the alternative? You leave it on premise, leave it in a house, you put it in a safe, you put it in your mattress, under your mattress, and so on. Don't seem like very safe alternatives because you could get robbed, and especially if you have your entire life savings in there, you know. So if you think of it as, hey, to reduce your odds of being robbed and having everything taken from you all at once, it makes sense to put it into a institution like a bank, and so on. So it being a negative interest rate, I could see how it's people are still going to continue saving, but at the same time, they might be more encouraged to spend the money. I don't know. It is tricky though, because there is a fee. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That is questionable. I think we're going into like uncharted economic territories here.
Oh yeah, we definitely are.
Because the premise is that if they give less incentive for people to save, then people won't save as much. But perhaps now they feel like the propensity to save even more because now they also have to pay fees.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
But anyways, the South Korean Kospi was down again. Um, this time continuing last Monday's trend, where the South Korean won actually opened lower when the U.S. Treasury put them on a warning list, because despite the fact that the U.S. and South Korea have a free trade agreement, South Korea has a bilateral trade surplus, which the U.S. says is due to government intervention in the foreign exchange markets, which distinctly goes against some of the terms set forth in the FTA. No thoughts on that?
Hmm. I wonder, you think the U.S. violated the trade agreement?
Well, you mean like with other countries, or
With this
with
country,
South
Korea.
Korea specifically?
Yeah, South Korea specifically.
Um, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, like South Korea could always bite back and say like, well, you traded us crappy beef or something like that or whatever. I don't know. I mean, but um, I mean, I'm not too sure on the specifics, but at least that's what the U.S. is saying now. You know, other countries could say that maybe the U.S. is just using its economic might to uh, even though they say it's a free trade agreement, this
Mhm.
agreement is only as good as how the U.S. is, willing to carry it out. Maybe because they're the economic superpower right now, they're trying to wield their big stick in the economic field. Who knows?
Don't know. I mean, yeah, it's just that, in free trade, like both party benefits, although I guess for whatever reason both parties want to violate the trade agreement.
Right.
Hmm. Don't know. I mean, this could pan out to be something much more bigger than we expect it to be right now.
I think so.
Yeah. Maybe like, Korea's like, hey, you know what? We don't want to be part of this free trade agreement, and in fact, we don't trust you guys as partners. Who knows? But this could be the seed of something bigger in the
Oh
future.
yeah. I mean, if something like this is actually going to fall apart, like the FTA just gets scrapped, then what's
Hmm.
to say that the TPP is still going to happen, or even if it does go through, if it's like how long it's going to actually last. But we'll
I
see.
think in times of like prosperity, no one really complains about anything.
Right.
But in times of like where times where everyone's trouble and we're seeing like global growth slowdown, I imagine that all these problems are just gonna come out the woodworks.
Well, we shall see. Moving along, the Shanghai Stock Exchange has been going up and down, but mainly down. This is following statements from the PRC President Xi Jinping saying that the market. Hold on. Oh boy. He's saying that market forces should be allowed to run its course. Meanwhile, the PRC authorities arrested 2 men at major banks, Chinese banks specifically, allegedly for insider trading. So, more technical difficulties. Hey, there we go.
Welcome back.
All right. Hopefully it works. All right. So Taiwan opened lower and slowly slid even lower after that. I don't have any specifics as to why that's happening, but like we always say, Taiwan is pretty closely connected to China, economically at least. Now onto Hong Kong. They didn't fare much better. Same thing, opening lower and dropping even lower. Now, Hong Kong is continuing last Friday's fall because of continuing volatility in an energy market. PRC businesses like PetroChina are listed on Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index. Plus, the Hong Kong dollar is pegged to the US dollar, so the US earnings report, not looking good, didn't help with Hong Kong either. So, any
Well,
any
my
thoughts?
initial thought is that as the U.S. dollar gets weaker, the Hong Kong dollar gets weaker as well, but then might encourage more buying activity in Hong Kong, mainly in the real estate arena. Then I start thinking about Disney. Huh? Hong Kong's Disney is not doing so great, but then, Disneyland might be they are opening up a new resort in Shanghai, which is the reason why I might have a buy position in Disney. And I'm
Yeah,
looking for the Disney stock dropping low enough for that buy to execute.
supposedly I heard that they're planning on closing the Hong Kong Disney pretty soon. I mean, once things in the Shanghai one kick off. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There was some joke about Mickey Mouse getting fired, but
Ha! I hope not. Mickey can be replaced by any of these candidates we choose. There will be only one replacement to choose from. See democracy at work.
Speaking of one, there is only one playbook.
Great.
Yes.
One play to rule them all.
Oh. Hold on.
The playbook.
The playbook, exactly. Again, just a reminder, none of the following should be misconstrued as financial or investment advice. This is merely provided for documentation only. Not much has changed. I still got my position in Kanyinku Phillips. And then you still have your position in Caesars, and that's finally in the black.
Yep.
To be honest, I haven't really checked my position on PHG. I'll have to see how that's doing. Maybe I should sell it at some point. Because for some reason, unlike other options, this one, like if I sold the options within the first 30 days, then I would have been slapped with a $75 fee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but anyways.
Very random. Good to
Yeah, it is very random. So yeah.
Yeah. Horrible market to buy options, great market to sell them, I assume.
Apparently.
Yep, high volatile times, great time to sell options.
Yeah. And then you said you had the positions in BAC?
Yeah, I have a short on BAC, a short on Caesar. I have a long buy that's not going to be executed for Disney at 96, 94. Just because I think I personally am pretty bullish on Disney and Facebook because of the VR technology. Um, and Disney because of the Shanghai Disneyland. I mean, if there's any place that can milk, China for some money, it would probably be Disneyland. I think one of the reasons why Hong Kong's Disneyland didn't get as much traction from the Chinese market is just because you had to apply for a visa to get into Hong Kong, I believe, or it's just like such a hassle to go through the borders and customs and whatnot.
No, no, no. You only have to apply for visas if you're staying in Hong Kong for more than 30 days. Now, if you're talking about the Chinese citizens trying to go down there, yes, it is a hassle. But for anyone else, like anyone else in Asia, no problem
Yeah,
at all, especially if you're Taiwanese. I mean, you don't have to sign anything and you can go to Hong Kong, like, without any papers, really.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm still looking forward to the Shanghai Disneyland. It's gonna be way bigger than the one in California, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So yeah.
And then what about your positions with BAC again?
I'm shorting BAC just because I feel like even with Caesar, I feel like there's a lot of global pressures, like macro pressures that are affecting it. I feel like there's no reason for Caesar to go up at all, but it's still climbing. So it's climbing, I believe, probably due to macro pressures, like people who don't really fully research the stock, they just go ahead and buy it.
Hmm. All right. And let's take a look at the week ahead. Um, Monday, you got the PMI manufacturing index. And not really looking at anything on Tuesday. What else you got? Oh, Monday, sorry. You still got the consumer spending measure and the construction spending numbers. Wednesday, you got the job creation index, PMI services index. Thursday, you got the jobless claims, consumer comfort index. And Friday, we have the employment situation.
Looks like a action-packed month there.
Yeah. Now, internationally, Monday you have the PRC Indian, French, and German PMI manufacturing index, and Saturday you have the PRC merchandise trade balance. So let's move on to recommendations. Um, I have to thank you for this one, actually. The
Yeah.
live stream of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway meeting. That was actually really good. Hello? Oh no. More technical difficulties. Why? Gibson, Gibson, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, we've lost audio on Gibson. So, can he join us? Oh, okay. He's offline. We're going to give him a second to join back. But some of the things that I took away from this shareholder meeting. Before I get into that, first of all, this is the first time that Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway quarterly meetings are actually live streamed. I mean, you had to have been a shareholder to take to be able to take part of this. Now, their Bravo shares or their B shares are they're like about like 200 or $120 or so, but then their alpha shares, their A shares are like, geez, $219,000. I mean, like, yeah. So it's to have either one. I mean, you got to be a big deal. So let's see. Gibson, Gibson, where are you? Still not around. Now, some of the things that I was able to take away from this was okay. Some of the things I was able to take away from this was to see Warren Buffett's views specifically on the companies that he invests, why he invests in them, other little investing gems. Like he said that he concentrates more on the microeconomics and not so much on the macroeconomics. Very interesting. Um, good little tidbits, nice little jabs and jokes. Darn, Gibson, why are you not here? Anyways, maybe we can talk about a bit more of that next weekend. Go ahead and just wrap up then. So, just a reminder, we may or may not have ownership or other positions of the stocks mentioned on the show. Don't buy stocks based solely off of what you hear from this podcast, and always do your own homework and research before investing in stocks. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, please go to YouTube and search for our website, copycats.com. CONGKERINGTATH. This is our channel right here. And please, if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. Please. Our episode should be coming up pretty soon. Also, you can also go onto our website, mny.congkerinGTATH.com. And we'll have it up there too. Okay. Talk to you later.